In this lesson, we're going to learn about how to simplify expressions with the distributive property. So, what is the distributive property? Well, the distributive property is if A, B, and C are elements of the real numbers. Again, if A, B, and C are elements or are integers, rationals, or irrational numbers, then A multiplied by B plus C is equal to AB plus AC. A plus B multiplied by C is equal to AC plus BC. Similarly, A multiplied by B minus C is equal to AB minus AC. And A minus B multiplied by C is equal to AC minus BC. So again, this is something that is kind of intuitive because it kind of makes sense, but pretty much I'm just going to go through some examples and you'll see what I mean by all of this. So first off, we might want to think to ourselves, why would we ever want to use this? Well, let's use buying a movie ticket example. Now, let's say that a movie is, say, $8. Buying tickets to a movie, $8 movie tickets. And you're going to buy them for you and your 3 friends. Or you and 2 friends, 3 total people. So I'll just put that instead. So 3 total people. So you might think to yourself, oh, 3 times 8, that's equal to 24. So it's going to cost me $24 to buy $8 movie tickets for me and my 2 other friends. But what happens if there's tax involved with the tickets? So that could be seen as, well, actually be $8 plus tax, which we'll just call X. And now you're buying them again for 3 people. Well, this is actually going to be 3 multiplied by $8 plus tax. Okay, so let's say tax will be a total of 60 cents per ticket. So this turns into, so we're going to say X is equal to 60 cents. So that's 0.60. So now this equation turns into 8 times 8 plus 0.60. Now, some of you might be able to do this right off the top of your head and think to yourself, oh, that's going to be 3 times 860. Okay? But let's say we don't want to do that. Say we want to make it just a little bit easier and we're going to do it separately. So now the distributive property claims that this is equal to 3 times 8 plus 3 times 0.60. Fix that out. That wasn't very good. It's equal to 3 times 0.60. Okay, well this math is, I think this is a little bit easier, saying 3 times 8 plus a 3 times 0.60 rather than 3 times 8.60. Because this, okay, we know this is 24. And this one, with just a little bit of work, we know it's 1.8. Okay, well then this is all equal to $25.80. Where if I gave you just 3 times 8.60, you might not be able to come up with $25.80 off the top of your head. So this is just one example of the distributive property in the real world. You know, buying movie tickets at $8 plus tax for 3 people. Well, that's 3 times 8 plus tax, 8 plus 0.60 per ticket. And then you just use distributive properties, say 3 times 8 plus 3 times 0.60. That equals $25.80. So again, I'm just going to throw a few examples at us. That way we can work on the distributive property. So say we have 3 times X plus 4. Again, if you want, you can look at this as just say, you're buying 3 movie tickets at $4 a piece plus tax. And in this case, we don't know what tax is. So in this case, okay, we'll go 3 times x plus 3 times 4. Well, that's 3x plus 3 times 4. Simplify that out. That's 3x plus 12. And this is a little bit easier to look at than this is. So that's why we use the distributive property. We use it so that we can simplify expressions into a little bit easier, more easily read equation. Okay, we'll just go through a few more examples. Say we have 8 multiplied by 3 over 8 x plus 1/4. Again, just by using the distributive property, we just multiply them out and add them together. So 3 times 3 over 8 x plus 8 times 1 over 4. Again, we can turn these into fractions. So that's 8 over 1. 8 over 1, so 8 times 3 is 24 divided by 8. X plus 8 times 1, that's 8 over 4. And this can be simplified down to 3x plus 2. So again, we use the distributive property to simplify this more complex expression into this shorter, more easily read expression. One more quick example. Say we have this. Say we just have a negative y plus 5. If you ever read a negative out front of a parentheses like this, you automatically assume, you don't assume, you know that it stands for a negative 1. So that means, using a distributive law, we just distribute that negative 1. So this becomes a negative 1y plus a negative 1 times 5. Well, this can be simplified down to a negative y plus a negative 5. Well, that can also be read as negative y minus 5. So again, just a more simple way of looking at a different expression like that. So that's all the distributive law is it's taking one number and multiplying it out by a couple other numbers. So again, I just want to keep going through a few more examples, as this is a it's an intuitive process, but I also want to give you guys plenty of looks at it. So say we have 4x minus 8 minus x plus 3. Okay, so again, a little bit more long, complex equation, but if we just break it down step by step, then we know that, we recognize, this is just the distributive property. Okay, so I'm going to look at this equation and I see, there's a negative in front of my parentheses. I'm just going to automatically put that 1 there just to make it a little bit more simple. And now I'm just going to use the distributive property to distribute these numbers. So that would be equal to 4 times x. And now we're going to say plus 4, the other distributive law says we can just use the negative version, so minus 4 times 8. And then we have negative 1 times x. Okay, so that's just a negative x. Then negative plus a negative 1 times 3. Now again, it's just our order of operations. So we have 4x. That would be minus 32 minus x minus 3. Okay, so we have we have a couple of set of like terms, our x's and our constants. So this would become 3x minus 35. So again, this shorter expression is the exact same thing as this longer expression, just broken down much more simply. Again, that's all the distributive property is. You might just have to take your time, think about it, and it won't be anything too complex. So I'll give you guys an example to work on for yourselves. So say you have 8 minus 2 multiplied by x plus 3. I'll let you work on that right now. Okay, we'll go through this. So we see that we have a distributive property here, so this would just be equal to x, or 8 minus, well, that is 2 times x and 2 times 3, so that would be 2x plus, excuse me, I'm going to rewrite this way, so we recognize this is a negative 2, so this would be negative 2 minus x, then negative 2 multiplied by 3, well, that would just be equal to 8 minus 2x plus negative 2 times 3, well, that would be negative 6. It would be 8 minus 2x minus 6. And again, we have like terms, so we're going to simplify those. So this would be negative 2x, 8 minus 6 plus 2. So again, this shorter expression is the exact same thing as this long expression, is just simplified by using the distributive property.